Namaste. You're right. Practicing pranayama on a tight body is like planting in stone. It won't bear fruit, just as the hard truth. And we might say, yes, it's better than doing nothing, but that's not the point. Yeah. If you force yourself doing pranayama, if the body is not ready, you may even hurt your vital system, because in the pranayama, you're controlling the flow of the breath. You're bypassing the normal functions of the breath, and you're altering your respiratory system. So the lungs and the rest of your internal system would have to be ready to absorb the additional pressure of the technique. All right. So hopefully this lesson might help you plan ahead, because we're heading into the new year. You might be thinking of like developing your practice at home. If you are lucky enough to be guided with a teacher, doing classes there, that's good. Just keep doing that. But for most of us, amidst our many priorities, commitments, and obligations, we only have ourselves to depend. And then we're so lucky to have the technology, the internet, so we can gain inspiration from others too. And hopefully my lessons, I have many lessons about developing hope practice. You may take a look at them. All right. So if you're planning, for example, you only have 3 times per week to practice. And for example, you start your day on a Monday. So Monday is your asana. Asana are postures. And I would suggest when you practice asana, especially if you're still building the awareness, focus on flow, something which moves the body. It builds coordination, it builds mobility, strength, something which promotes dynamism of the body. Because the tamas, the stagnation there is quite rigid. Like you just move, vinyasas. All right. Second day, which is a Tuesday, second day of the week, you may do your rest day. Right. But if you want to practice, for example, why not? Yeah, so daily practice is ideal, actually. You don't have to do long practices. I say between 20 and 30 minutes of your practice. All right. Now, you do your rest day. So after, it's just that you're alternating. So you may rest on the 3rd day of the week. If you've done like twice in a row, you can do your rest day on the 3rd day of the week. Then the 4th day, you do asana again. All right, when it comes to asana, you might try to vary, or you can just do the same flow for the week, and then the following week, change it. All right, so for example, this week, or for this practice, you just learn the sun salutation, or for the whole week, just that, sun salutation, whole week. All right, maybe sun salutation is too short to continue or to run through the 30-minute. So you might do, after your sun salutation, you might do some standing there. And then, yes, my classes are complete. You can just choose. I've grouped them into categories: beginners, intermediate, and advanced. But if you're just starting the practice, you can just choose from the beginners playlist. You can just focus on this one class and then do that for the whole week. And then you do your rest day again. It's like alternate. Asana, rest day, asana, rest day, asana. Or you can do asana, asana, rest day, asana, asana, if you have 5 times, all right, a week. All right, so just develop the body first. Just the process. There's no escaping this process. You don't want to be rushing. All right, so when do we now start to incorporate energetic observances? Energetic observances include the pranayama. All right, so don't rush. Maybe 12 weeks into your practicing of asana. Yes, that's it might sound like a long time, but you know what? You will enjoy your asana practice because you will benefit from it, and then you will just be motivated to keep going, and then progressing. And then because you're training the brain now, the brain is learning new things, and then the brain likes to learn new things. And then you won't notice it. Time passes so quickly when your brain is inspired, and you're going to feel the change in your body, the physical changes, the way you move, the way you stand, the way you walk, and even the way you eat. Because this will, stimulate, yeah, those dormant centers in the body. And in the way you eliminate your toxins, and even the way you look, your eyes, your hair, and your sleeping patterns will take a beautiful turn too. And then your predisposition and your clarity. All right. And then when that happens, yeah, the mind gets less attached to the seeking. You know what I mean? Because at first, before, oh, I'd like to be like that. I'd like to learn this. I'd like to learn that. I want to look like that. No, but now you are enjoying your own, well, progress, because you're experiencing it yourself, and you realize, oh, yeah, it's not an overnight. I say it's not an overnight cure. It is a process, but the process is beautiful, because as you go through these techniques, even how basic they are, you will feel the changes in your body, and then there's no rush, yeah, to doing this, because you enjoy, yeah, as each stage unfold at you, and then you will feel it. Yeah, the body will just let you know. Your breath will change. Oh, my breath is now flowing. Right. And then now you can start to add your energetic practices. All right. The Nadi Shodhana, the alternate nostril breathing, that's safe for everyone. Yeah, it's not the Kapalabhati is not a pranayama itself, but you can learn the Kapalabhati, yeah, just to release, yeah, external blockages clogging the nostrils. That one, and I've given many tutorials about that. Those two, yeah. But when you flow, definitely you're working on your natural breath. All right, so the natural breath develops as you flow through your asana, and then the energetic practices as a separate practice or component happens, yeah, into the 13th week, yeah, of your practice. Yeah, but don't rush, you will feel it. Yeah, yes, it's a beautiful process, a beautiful journey, and when you feel the benefits, yeah, you will find your own way there. Trust me, been there. All right, see you, and yeah, hopefully this one helps, and yeah, keep going. Yeah, happy practicing.